Saoirse, you awaken, stretch, feel comfortable. It's not as cold, even as you place foot to stone on the floor. I wouldn't say that you feel there's like heat radiating from the floor or anything, but it is not cold to the touch. And as you kind of start getting your things together, there's a tall standing mirror in the corner of your room that usually you kind of like make sure that your buttons are done all the way up and your sleeves are rolled all the way down. I'm going to ask you to tell me what subtle changes you notice this morning.
In myself or around the house?
In your physical appearance. Roll a d20. We'll say a higher roll is going to be something more obvious, a lower roll is going to be something more subtle. 5. It's something that you definitely notice, but others may not at a glance.
My freckles are kind of off-colored. They're no longer like, skin tone, kind of chestnutty brown. They're almost more leaning like orange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for now, that's it.
Yeah, you kind of like take notice of this and, maybe that's part of becoming a woman.
Yes, that age when every woman's freckles turn orange. Cheeto-colored.
I remember when it happened to me.
And you head downstairs where you see your father has set out a number of plates with fried up bacon as well as some puffin eggs that have been prepared for all of you. Don't worry, they're very prevalent in
invasive.
Yeah,
here.
It's an invasive species. You have like high mountaintops, like they come here and they nest, and there's just thousands of them.
They're just shitting out eggs left and right.
Yeah,
And everything else.
shitting eggs out the butt, out the cloaca.
Which is both.
It's everything.
Let's go.
Excellent. And it's not until you step into that spiral staircase and begin making your way down to the bottom that you realize that it's still early in the morning, but the sun won't rise for several hours to come. But you don't even realize until you get to the bottom of the stairs that you didn't light a lantern to get down here. You can go ahead and add your dark vision to your
Oh, shit.
character sheet.
Sick.
You see, as you enter, your father seems to have saved yours and his plates for last. Your mother and sister are already finishing up their meals as they've got early morning sermons to give. I would say, how does Saoirse feel about Nora being the one who's more been taken under your mother's wing in terms of kind of apprenticing to one day maybe take over the temple here? I don't think it's something that's been like stated outright, but she definitely is involved more in the church than you are typically allowed to be.
There's jealousy there, but not really ambition.
Yeah, it's not because that's what you want. It's because someone else is receiving, the parental affection.
Yeah, I think that I'm still in that. All of this is very abstract to me.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly the clothes are itchy and the sermons are long. So there's no like, I should be up there. It's just like, oh, why doesn't mom ever hang out with me? Oh.
For sure. And like, just as you're having this thought, she stands up and begins to exit and calls Nora to come with her. Make a perception check.
16.
You're still kind of lingering on just like how odd this morning has felt and how vivid that dream felt last night. Usually you wake up and you remember like it started when you were in bed and you get up and walk towards the door. It's sweltering hot, you're sweating, but you remember vividly stepping into the Sparkwinds and following through them down that spiral. And as you do, you catch a glimpse as your mother is leaving the room that her gray blue eyes almost have this like flicker of brownishness to them today. They seem like a little muddier but bright at the same time. I guess brown isn't a great descriptor, but what a light brown would be, which is a faint like orange hue, which is odd. You've only ever seen that in Zoenfir. She leaves and you look over at your father, who smiles at you and passes the plate over, and you notice it's like you're not sure if something's wrong with your eyes. Like you didn't need your lantern to get down the stairs this morning, and you swear that your father has like a tinge of blue in his hair, where once was like dark gray. has gone sort of indigo.
Does everything seem normal to you this morning?
I mean, sure. I've got a little bit of butterflies in my tummy about going to talk to the locals about Exardeska and hand out the apple cakes. I hope everyone enjoys them. But, I mean, sure, everything seems fine. Are you feeling all right?
Oh, yeah.
He puts a hand on your forehead and he's like, you seem like you might have a bit of a fever, Saoirse. Are you feeling okay?
I feel fine. Better than normal.
Oh. Also, you notice as he puts his hand, the back of his hand on your forehead, it's like ice cold.
Oh, I flinch when his hand touches my face.
Are you sure you're feeling all right? Do you need to stay in bed today?
Are you sure you're feeling all right?
I feel fine. I mean, honestly, if anything, I feel a bit more comfortable. I think I'm starting to finally adjust to these Ilvermirian winters.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Huh. But you don't feel ill, or?
No?
Right, well, better to have you with me so I can keep an eye on you anyway.
Right?
Well, finish up your eggs and we'll head out to our little tent. You suck him down and he eats his as well.
You like don't use your hands all of a sudden?
No. I just...
We pull once again out from the temple through the window and across the snow into the woods and the thicket where Arixavir, you are awakening on the first day of the Emberlight Vigil. You know that today you're going to get to go into town with your granny because she loves nothing more than finding the local lore keeper, which is like a preacher of the fables. More like a bard that tells the tales, or a skald as it would be called in this world. She loves nothing more than tracking them down and correcting everything that they get wrong. But there have been some subtle hints that this year she might let you do some of the correcting. So there's probably a little bit of nerves, a little bit of excitement.
I get to be a pedantic asshole.
And as you sort of like pull the covers off and step out of bed and stretch really big, you open your eyes and kind of like have a moment of vertigo. You feel much higher up than you were before.
I look down at my legs, that and my arms that were like aching from the dream.
Yeah, and there's still like a dull ache. And you like quickly walk over to a mirror and go to look at yourself, but your head is above where the top of the mirror would normally be. Like it's perfectly centered so that it's like you're centered in it when you look in it, but today your head is above.
I have to like stoop down and
You
look.
seem to have hit a bit of a growth spurt. Roll me a d20. We'll do the same thing as we did with Saoirse. High roll means more obvious changes. Low roll means more subtle changes.
You know, in addition to being a foot taller.
Not like a foot taller, but like I would say like when you look in the mirror, you're used to like the top of your head touching the top of the mirror, but today you like can't see your eyes.
Whew.
It's like definitely a couple inches.
Oh my god. It's a nat one.
Natural one. Other than that, you look the same but stretched out. You must have hit a growth spurt.
I just like start flexing like, yes.
It's finally your time.
My pajamas, I think, turned into like a crop top.
Yeah, and worth noting, like you were a relatively small child.
Mm-hmm.
You've hit a growth spurt and become actual child-sized.
And I'm excited about it.
We didn't cover this prior. Is your mother still around in the picture?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Would you like to give me your mother's name and a little description of what she looks like?
Her name is Freyja. She is stouter than my father, a lot shorter, and she's kind of like pot-bellied. She's got a very round middle, and she is a very stubborn woman, and she's also typically smoking a pipe.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Badass.
I rolled a 15. As you step out into your living area, your mother and father don't seem to have awoken yet. Or if they have, maybe they've already headed off to the Emberlight Vigil Festival. But Granny Brynja is here, and I rolled a 15, so I want you to tell me what type of change has occurred in Granny's appearance.
Granny's nose, which was a little bit hooked, but mostly downturned here, has now become a little bit leatherier and wider here. I think that she would have like a little bit of fur, as if she is about to grow a very soft, wispy beard.
Excellent. Yeah. You come out and your granny turns. There's also just like a slight, not like slit to the pupils,
Yes.
but the pupils have actually become almost like star-like in shape. You couldn't count how many points because it is very, there are a lot of them, but it is not a perfect sphere, like circular pupil anymore. It is jagged and wild. And as she kind of like turns and looks at you, you like start for a moment, and she's like, Alexovir, you are so tall.
Granny Birna, you're so... I don't know.
I think you must have been onto something when you said you met Kusovir last night.
told you
It
to
seems
see.
we have been blessed by the trickster himself. Oh, this is joyous news. I cannot wait to show all of the townspeople at the Emberlight vigil. Are you ready to go? Would you like to eat something first? I can
Yes.
throw something together for you.
Yes.
Um,
Can we eat at the Emberlight Vigil?
Yes, of course. Yes, you'll find me what smells the best, and we will eat that.
Yeah, do I give a smell? Does my sense of smell any better?
You smell like your house.
Okay.
Kind of earthy.
No, it smells like you. Based on descriptions up to now, that house smells like you.
I have a scent.
As you step outside and begin leading Granny Brynja in her new, much more wild-looking, unhuman form, as she's just kind of like, she also has gotten much taller and also has like very long limbs. She kind of like stalks behind you, these two nightmare creatures from the woods. And
We're just like super proud. Or
Yeah.
like I told everyone.
What is your passive perception currently?
12.
12 is very good. As you are kind of like sauntering out, you hear like a gaggle of voices to your left going, there they are, food, feed, bring us the seeds, the seeds, bring them to us, the seeds. And you turn and you look, and all of the chickens are kind of like following you guys as you go, and you can understand every single one of them. You can add speech of beast and leaf to your character sheet.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
Which to anyone else, this would be kind of like a nightmare to have woken up in this manner. But for you, I think it's like a dream come true.
I think I'm just going to grab onto Granny and be like, Granny, the chickens,
I hear them too.
they speak to us.
It is not time for breakfast, chickens. You wait. We will feed you when we come back for our break and our nap later. And the chickens are just like, yeah, the first time that she's like spoken to the chickens, and because she talks to them like this all the time.
Yeah.
This is the first time they've understood and reacted.
Oh. Granny, I think they understand us too.
This is truly a blessing. Perhaps of Faerun more. Unclear as of yet. Perhaps the two have found their friendship again. Come, let us go and deliver the truth of the fables to the people of Ilvermir.
I'm just running circles around.
Yeah, she walks very slow.
I am the moonbrella.
The bell rings as you approach the town. Sabermoose! As you approach town, we find ourselves back in the town as early in the morning, having just fallen from a hammock, and Magnus having not slept, we find Brody and Magnus getting prepped for the first day of the Emberlight Vigil. You know that your parents are going to be gone for a couple of days. It is unfortunate, but this year it was their shift to be out fishing during the festival. They kind of, each year it rotates between the fishermen and the various vessels. And it was their year on, unfortunately. So you know that they won't be back for until like midway through the third day is when they'll return with their catch, and just in time for the harvest feast.
I have to get them something.
What does your morning look like as you kind of collect yourselves? Brody, you have gotten a better rest than your brother. You can see he looks a little more sickly than usual.
I'm just gonna get up and go make breakfast.
Oh,
Probably some like fish and toast and
Yeah. A fishy toasty spread, or maybe like a lox sort of.
yeah, that's
thing.
what I was thinking, but not on a bagel. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you guys probably, like, your parents have a deal with a local butcher that he has like a big smoker that he uses for meats, and if you bring in fish, he'll just kind of like toss them in and get them smoked up as he's doing his other meats because it doesn't take up much space, and he'll it's like a free of charge kind of situation.
I'm gonna
Gives him a discount on purchasing from your family.
I'm gonna swap out the tea that I would normally drink with breakfast for like something stronger like coffee, which I wouldn't normally.
Like adjusting
sure.
his
Yeah.
glasses, making percolating coffee.
I mean, with your intelligence level, you don't even have to roll. You know how, you've seen coffee made enough times that you know how to make it. This is fully unrelated. Did you get new glasses?
Oh, so I have these. These are like my wear around the house goblin mode glasses, but I wanted to wear like giant glasses to insinuate that I'm a smaller child person during our
excellent.
stream.
think
I have my
they're so
other glasses.
fitting.
Here.
I do like them a
I
lot.
love them.
I thought I would just switch back if we.
And adults.
That's perfect.
When we become grown-ups, you have teeny tiny little round ones.
Just little.
Bifocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your stupor of being so sleep deprived, and as you're like making the coffee, you're just like going through those motions that you've been practicing all night with your right hand, and just kind of like stirring as you go. Nothing seems to come of it as of now, but a weird little thing that you've been doing for hours and can't quite stop yourself.
You'll notice me like
It's like a new tick.
doing weird stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like exactly what I was thinking. I was like, is this a new tick?
Are you stunning?
It's like, like there is like a fluidity to it, but there's also kind of like a Naruto hand signs to it as well. So it's just like,
Is it like the? Have you seen the kids that can do the math like on their hands? How they do the? Yeah,
oh yeah, like the different counting techniques.
it's wild.
It's very impressive how quickly they can do math.
I'm
Yeah.
scared.
It's like they're using
Math.
abacus.
Abacus,
in the
but
air.
in their mind.
So yeah, you put together some coffee, and do the pair of you head out for the vigil?
Yeah.
All right. Stepping outside, once again, Brody, you hear
So bright.
that voice that seems to almost carry on the wind.
Weird.
Please help. And as it as that wind kind of like drifts off, you swear you hear it just go, promise.
And direction? Is it from the where the wind's blowing, or?
Magnus, you look up and you notice that Brody has kind of stopped and is staring behind him in the distance towards the old crown.
Is everything all right?
Just my imagination. Sorry.
Mine's been very active lately after what I have read last night, so I can understand.
Make perception checks.
I gotta roll with disadvantage because I'm exhausted.
Uh-huh.
He was up all night doing business.
Hey.
Nice.
17.
What? On a disadvantage?
Yeah.
I rolled 13 twice.
Wow.
Brody, you are so distracted that you don't even like process. You're kind of like head down, probably having that moment like 12 is like very quickly nearing puberty. You're probably seeing some signs already, and like the fact that you're hearing voices is you're old enough that that's a little troubling to you.
Yeah.
Like you don't believe in imaginary friends.
Yeah.
You're worried about what this might mean. You're distracted for sure. Magnus, you notice there are kind of like some shouts of alarm coming from what sounds like inside some houses nearby. And you see some, like ahead of you, a door kicks open and a man walks out, and he's got like a scarf wrapped almost all the way around his head, and he's got like a toboggan hat pulled down, and is like more bundled for the cold than he needs to be, but is just kind of like quickly walks across into an alleyway and continues on.
Do I know who that person would be from where they live? Or
This is Taig.
Taig?
His family were traders who initially came to Ilvermere from Lochvara, which is a series of interconnected, like ring-shaped islands to the south of here. And they loved the scenery so much that they decided to stay and make a home here. And he's since kind of picked up hunting, and mostly goes out and like collects puffin eggs on the sides, which is kind of a dangerous job. It's like on the sides of cliffs.
Yeah.
and that's Saber Moose country. So
Ooh.
Jesus.
also on that perception check, you notice like as you're getting closer to the Emberlight Vigil area where the parade will begin that leads the town. It's a parade that like as it passes by, you are meant to then join in at the end. It leads everyone through the town up like the main road to the main gate of the Old Crown, where everyone goes outside of the gate of the Old Crown, and there's activities set up out there, and there's a big scavenger hunt that takes place in the Ashen Canes. That's really like for younger kids, but you guys are kind of like on the tail end of when it's appropriate to participate.
This is like our last chance at glory.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's even though this is made up and stupid, it's the same kind of feeling of like this is I'm too old. This is the last time I can trick or treat. That same kind of vibe.
Wait, you can be too old to trick or treat?
People think so.
Allegedly.
Some people will refuse to give you candy if you are above a certain height.
Never got there, so we wouldn't know.
You're noticing that like there are some people who are reacting in that way that you see are kind of like really covered up and bundled. There are other people who are kind of like out and confused, but you're noticing a lot of like odd afflictions. Like you see one person who at first you're like, oh, that's so strange. There's like bumps developing on his on his brow, like really defined protruding bumps. And you think like, oh, that's so strange. Like, I wonder what's going on with that guy. And then you see 4 more people that look the same.
Would I think that this relates to any sort of medical condition that I had read about before or anything?
Potentially. Make a medicine check.
16.
I mean, it could be any number of things. It could be, bone spurs growing on the crowns.
Head bone spurs.
Head bone spurs.
Okay.
It could be brain tumors that have ruptured through the skull. It could be any number of terrible. I think as like a 10-year-old who reads medical textbooks, your mind is instantly like, worst case scenario.
Yeah,
these people are dying.
I'm like an MD and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you notice that there are other people you recognize who look just off and different, and you can't quite place what it is. And there's a lot of people who seem very concerned, a lot of people who seem confused, but most people are just like, just gotta get through this festival.
I reach up and tug on your sleeve.
Start pointing at the freaks.
Yeah.
Who's that?
This guy's weird.
Combination.
This guy's weird.
Why's your hand like that? Why does your hand look like that?
That guy's got cancer.
What's up?
A bunch of people look really weird,
A bunch of people always look weird.
but like a bunch of people look really weird. I casually like point to somebody with like bumps on their head or like the long arms or whatever. I'm like,
yeah.
10-year-olds know not to point. Is that more of like a 5-year-old, 4 and 5-year-old thing?
Depends on if your parents were around.
it's not like aggressively pointing. I'm just like, look over there. But like, don't be too obvious about it.
And maybe they just had a little too much fun last night. I don't know. Getting the festivities started early.
Okay.
With
All
lumps.
right.
What?
Celebratory lumps.
What festivity causes growth?
Maybe I'm
It's
just,
a really bad bruise. I don't
maybe
know.
I'm just tired. It just seemed really strange.
That's weird. What do you think it is?
It's definitely brain bumps.
They're like growing a twin.
Maybe they might be growing a new head out of their current head.
Makes
The
sense
only
to me.
answer.
Yeah.
All right, where to first?
We should go to the trinket place. The stand that Corbin set up. I wanted to get a trinket for Mother and Father.
Do we have any gold? How does money work?
I'm gonna ask you guys, the money in this universe, is it simple coins? Is it some kind of like cotton paper-esque currency, or is it something else that's weird and strange to someone like us?
I have to define a central banking system or lack thereof in this moment.
No, paper money is stupid and fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be backed by
Just leaves.
metal. Leaves is really funny.
I was thinking like particular like types of wood could make sense that have been like carved in specific ways
Petrified?
to denote certain
Wouldn't that be
types of
easy to
money.
forge though?
Yeah.
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 Is it like a weird metal or like obsidian or like a weird stone or precious stone or something?
Well, I mean, you know, gems are usually
to well, and then
volcanic things.
yeah, it's like okay,
And fragile.
you just set up there and mine it all.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what do you say to maybe instead of it being like coins shaped from like metals, maybe there's gemstones cut in a specific way, and like the type of stone denotes like the level of currency. So like it would still be the same layout for sake of ease on character sheets and stuff of like, you know, copper piece, silver piece, gold piece being metric basically. But the idea is that it's like, you know, rubies are the most prevalent, so those are worth the least. One ruby piece or like one ruby chip is equal to $1.
So are we like swapping the value of like precious metals with gems in this case then? Like are precious metals worth more than they normally would be? Are they worth what a gem might be normally worth in D&D, or are we just thinking that precious metals
Yeah,
aren't?
that's a good point. Like, does it just mean that there is so much more gemstone in this place than there is metal that is more cost effective to turn into money?
I'd be down for that because I mean the way that it usually works in D&D anyway is like a diamond worth X amount of gold. So instead it could just be X amount of gold is what you need for this spell.
But then like if we're making metals more valuable, like you could have coins that are made of like steel or iron or whatever also.
Yeah. That wouldn't make too much sense because there is still like weapons and armor that would be made of the same thing. Unless those just become very expensive.
See that? Yeah. So that's like implications that like a change in the valuation of the things that are valuable would affect.
I would say you could still go with like stones, like precious stones, just like lower grade precious stone. Like this is an agate. Those are fairly common and fairly cheap.
Yeah. So why don't we go quartz is the least. So like copper would be quartz, silver would be agate.
There are multiple kinds of agate.
There's multiple kinds of quartz too.
How are we gonna like determine like if someone's paying us in quartz, like how do we determine the value?
They're
of
little
it?
chips.
I'd say that they're chips. They're cut in a certain way that they're not. It's not like handing someone like a diamond shaped stone. It's like a little. It's like the same shape as a coin. I'll make up a shape right now.
See the thing that I'm thinking about in my head is like if these chips become cracked or like damaged or something, then they're not. Are they still going to hold their value? Because like with a metal,
a dollar doesn't.
We'll say that's
They
what like.
replace it.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
treasury.
if you have
we'll do the
51% of your dollars.
we'll do the same thing. That's what banks are for.
Yeah.
They're kind of like this shape, like a little rupee, but it's like
What?
basically just yay big and yay wide.
Okay.
Just like a nice little jingle in your hands.
So like this kind of thing almost.
Yeah, but flat.
So
Oh, flat.
so how do precious metals factor in value wise then? Are they more valuable because they're rarer, or are they just not used for currency? Like
They're just not
still
used for
valuable
currency.
They're still valuable as like jewelry, because of their like, you know, appearance, but they're just not they're not minted into coinage.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it. This is much more as like Zelda-like economy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So copper is
Sounds
quartz.
pretty.
it is Zelda. It's Zelda.
Vibe.
Silver is agate.
Mm-hmm.
Gold will be turquoise.
Ooh.
And I know that the obvious thing seems like you should make platinum diamonds, but
Pearls.
Pearls is good.
What
Yeah.
is the bottom of the Umbral Sea like? Holy fuck.
no.
That's harder to get to than puffin eggs.
Maybe no one.
You can farm.
At least no one who returned. Excellent. I will do my best to remember that.
I wrote it down.
We were talking about money because you were asking how much money you have. I rolled a die. You have 2 agate chips each, which is the
Ooh.
equivalent of like $20 for each of you
Hell yeah.
that your parents left you to get food and stuff while they were gone. And, you know, a little extra to spend at the festival because they know that you're going to be there.
Fun. How's our economy? Is it fucked like today's economy, or?
Not on Ilvermere. Ilvermere, like,
What's
this.
the pizza cost?
Doesn't exist.
Okay.
But
Yes.
you could be the one to create it.
Making pizza.
You know what? I'm not going to say it because you're all children and children don't care about the
Oh,
economy.
that's true.
I'm just like,
I'm
in today's
rich.
economy, if you go to a fair with a $20 bill, that's gone in a single
Oh, no,
You
no,
didn't
that's
even
not the
get a
case.
ticket.
There's a lot of like barter economy, especially
Okay.
in Gloamshore and on Ilvermere. Like you guys are having your Emberlight vigil, but there's like a much crazier, more expensive wild Emberlight vigil happening in Tarstrand, which is the big city on Ilvermere that you guys don't live in.
Well, maybe someday. We
Maybe
can go to
someday.
the big one. Also, this campaign just turned into a pizza shop simulator. After this is done, I hope that's okay.
You're going to be our Adventure Zone's taco.
Yeah.
Music fills the air, as does the mesmerizing scent of sugar, roasted nuts, baked cakes, tarts, and breads. Grains are roasted over iron pans until they burst from their hard shells, becoming somehow crunchy and pillowy all at once, smothered in butter, salt, and various other seasonings. Saoirse, you are seated behind a little wooden table that your father has set up. There are a series of pre-sliced Lochvarin apple cakes before you. And your father, like as soon as you got here, your father kind of like winked at you and passed you one on a plate for you to eat. It's been like a couple hours now since you guys have had lunch. Got up very early in the morning and had like a lot of prep to continue doing before helping carry everything. It took 2 trips to get from the temple to here with all of the stuff that you needed to bring. You finally got everything all set up and you've made a couple of sales, but you know, your father starts talking about Exardeska and its principles to people who approach, and they quickly leave because they're not interested. And you've hit kind of a lull now, and he kind of looks over at you and just kind of leans down. And he's like, "You getting hungry?"
I'm starving.
All right. Why don't I get
butter?
butter? Butter sounds good. Why don't I go and get us a little savory treat, and you hold down the fort while I'm gone?
Sure.
All right.
What if somebody needs change?
Well, we'll use a little bit of what we've got so far. It shouldn't be too great. I mean, it's only a quartz chip per slice, so
Alright.
people shouldn't need too much change. But if anybody brings you an agate, then we should be set. But if somebody shows up slinging pearls around, we
I
don't
hold them here.
accept pearls.
Ask them for donations.
Perfect. I shouldn't be too long. I'm just gonna go get us something to eat.
All right.
If you need a mnemonic to remember it, just think QATP or cat pee.
Cat pee.
cat pee. Why? I've never thought that we would all say cat pee at the same time with the tone of reverence. Cat pee.
Really bad at saying things at the same time as well. Sorry.
It's all right.
It's okay.
A young boy approaches, actually a group of young boys. There's probably 3 of them.
I'm afraid.
And at at the center is a familiar face. Would you describe for me what Alvi looks like?
Alvi has very straight, fine, blonde hair. That very like Northern European, like.
Yeah, he looks like a
it
Nord.
moves like a water.
Like a
You know how
Yeah.
people with very fine hair, it moves all
very
together.
flowing. Mhm.
Um,
I'd say as he approaches and kind of like shakes his locks out, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
more flowing than
it's
usual.
like styled like the off-center middle part, you know,
hmm
very straight.
You said straight and did this. Is it like a bowl cut?
Yeah, it's a bowl cut.
Excellent.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas haircut or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, boy.
I'm just gonna put JTT in my notes, and I think that's all I need.
What's
Yeah.
his name? Alvi?
Alfie.
Yeah.
Alvi.
Swoon.
He approaches, and his friends are kind of like giggling and laughing, and he sees you here, and there's like kind of like a moment where you see his countenance hardens a little bit. He's just like, Saoirse.
Hi, Alvi. Are you enjoying the fair?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. We're going to, go to where the parade starts pretty soon and follow it out to the walls and do the scavenger hunt. That should be a good time.
That sounds fun.
Are you allowed to do that?
Well, I'm the only one watching the cakes right now. But maybe after I could meet you there if you were gonna be hanging out?
Sure. Well, I'll probably be going through the woods, hunting for the scavenger things. But maybe, I mean, if you can go, then you might see me there, I guess. Could we get some of your cakes?
Sure, they're a quartz piece per.
Oh, he kind of like looks at his friends and he's like, I've only got the one quartz piece. Do you think we could get 2 pieces to split with just that?
Ooh. Can I do one of those special checks?
Yeah.
To figure out how I feel conflicted.
Yeah, so we're going to roll 2d20 and the number furthest from 10 is what we will choose.
You know which one's which?
Is
I thought
high
you
the
were saying
moral
what-
ground or is
Right.
high the I'm a cool friend?
I don't think it's really a question of like, ooh, I want to be cool. It's like, oh, am I
Bad kid.
allowed to do that? Can I do that?
Oh,
do I
okay.
want to do that?
Okay, so a high roll would kind of tell you if that's chill.
A high roll would be, does the thing that I want to do matter more to me than my mom pulling me by the hair?
Okay.
Jesus.
Putting me in the closet again.
That would be 16.
So yeah, I think on a high roll, you would act in the way that you want to act.
I will look around for my dad, and then I will slide 2 cakes across.
Okay. Kind of like takes them and leaves the chip, and he's like, thank you. You should come find us. It's going to be fun. I know it's
Sure.
not very Exardescan, but you know, my family's converted and we really like the Emberlight vigils, so we still celebrate it. Just not the religious parts. But-
Sure, I think, I don't know for sure. This is our first time, but I think we're coming around to the heathenism.
Sure, right. Paganism is the word that they use, but it's just fables. It's just, we don't label ourselves. Anyway, I maybe I'll see you there.
Right, yeah.
Could I have Brody and Magnus make perception checks for me?
Disadvantage, here we go.
10.
19.
That's a good reaction.
Damn, one of those was a nat 20.
It was.
Oh, goddamn.
Matt's got the best disadvantage in the world. He's
Yeah, I know.
rolling within 5
He
of 20.
loves being exhausted. It's a good night
He's
for him.
thriving.
Magnus and Brody, as you are walking towards the center, the start of the festival to follow the parade, you see this whole interaction from the boys approaching. You hear the interaction. You also notice something that Saoirse doesn't notice, which is that while she's distracted and talking to Alvi, one of his 2 friends has actually slid a couple of the chips that were kind of sat behind into his pocket. Both of you notice this.
Oh, both. 10's enough?
10 was enough. Yeah.
All right.
This kid's not like a master of sleight of hand, but Saoirse is just distracted
Yeah,
by a cute boy.
Hey, those aren't yours.
Kind of like turns, he's like, oh.
You must have made a mistake, right? On accident?
Magnus, you're kind of surprised as you don't recognize the kid that turns around and did the pocketing. Maybe you recognize Alvi, but you do recognize Tilvar, who's on the other side and is the 3rd child. Mm-hmm. Tilvar kind of steps forward and he's like, no guys, it's fine, what are you talking about? And the kid's like, I didn't do anything wrong. What are you talking about? And Alvi's like, what is the problem here?
I point to where the quartz chips are on the table. I say, are these your quartz chips?
No, they belong on the table, I think.
Why did you take 2 of them?
I
Put
did
them
not.
in that pocket.
I did not take any quartz chips. This is how many were here before, right? You counted.
Are there enough that I can't just count?
Make a perception check.
Do math.
I'll say with advantage. There's going to be a difficulty of 7.
With advantage?
Yeah.
Good.
There's not so much money here that you wouldn't keep count, but he only took a couple, and there is enough that it would be hard to miss 1 or 2 pieces.
12.
Yeah, you do notice.
Can I grab the kid?
Make an athletics check. It's going to be opposed.
I want to see this.
Oh. He rolled a natural 20.
So did she?
Oh my god, 20v20.
I mean, this kid is a little bit bigger of a kid. He gets +2.
I have a +3.
Okay, so you succeed.
Proficiency in athletics.
I think it is a mad scramble, though. That's gotta be nasty.
I just grab him by like the collar with 2 hands.
Yeah, you reach out and you grab this kid with 2 hands. He starts trying to pull away. He's like, "Get away from me!" And I'm gonna make a luck check for me. As you grab him, and there's 2 nat 20s differed by 1. Alvy's gonna step in. I'm gonna have each of you roll one more time as he like grabs your wrists and tries to pull your hands free of his friend's clothing.
Athletics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alvy's trying to pull her wrist.
Yeah.
So of being on that guy. Okay.
Yeah, Alvy's trying to like get her grip off of him.
Shit.
He rolled a natural 17. He doesn't add anything.
I rolled a 6 and I add 3.
Alvy steps forward, pulls your hands free. There's a sizzle as he like burns himself. As he like pulls your hand free, he's like, bro, get out of here! And they're gonna try and book it away. What do the 3 of you do?
I'm kind of pissed that Alvy is putting hands on people,
Yeah?
but I'm gonna chase the guy that slipped out.
Okay, I mean, they all of them take off.
Okay.
I mean, I'm following him if he's running. I don't
Okay.
know how fast I can run. But.
All right, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. This is to see if you can get to them and like tackle one of them
Okay.
without like reacting fast enough as they try and sprint away.
19.
19 is enough for sure. You watch as this older kid,
Oh shit.
bigger and broader than you guys. He's 12.
Whoa.
Just like, like through the crowd, leaps, and you just tackle this kid to the ground. Alvy and Tilvar continue running and kind of like look back over their shoulders and are just like sprinting off. But you've got this kid pinned to the ground, and he's like, "Guys, wait!" Magnus, like you catch up. It's like 5 steps. You catch up and kind of like pull your blanket tighter.
There's another blanket now too.
It just materialized.
And when you all meet for the first time,
Can I try to fish in his pockets and find the coins?
yeah, easy enough. You saw the pocket that your brother pointed at. You reach in and produce 3 quartz chips.
He only took 2.
Do you put one back?
No, I'll toss. Missing these.
I'll throw the other one back at the kid.
Well, you gave them 2 cakes for 1 quartz. So
true.
technically
That's
they did
true.
owe you them.
I will take all 3.
Okay.
You trying to
I'll
be
put them
good
in my
teaching.
pile.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, kick him.
Oh,
You can
make it a
say
tackle.
that's for
No, I'm not gonna kick him hard.
Okay. This is just to see, if you successfully kick him.
What is unarmed strike?
D20 plus your strength.
Okay. 20.
20. Yeah, you kick him right in the stomach. And it's just like, he's like, I gave it back. Let me go.
I thought you didn't willingly give it back.
I'm sorry. Okay, please.
Sure. Okay.
Should I let him up?
Make better decisions.
Yeah, I will.
What's your name, kid?
My name is Thirkel.
Say what?
Thirkel.
Thorskin or something?
Thirunmor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the.
Or Tyr? Whatever. Yeah.
It's a different pantheon, but yeah.
Okay.
It's literally he's named after Thirunmor, which
okay.
is the god of the Thorn Father, the nature god
Got it.
of this world. You let him go.
All right.
He kind of like pulls himself away, pulls up like where his jacket had come down around the shoulder a little bit.
Stop being a little shit!
He like starts like tearing up and running off, and yeah, he leaves the 3 of you present here alone.
Thank you both for helping.
I hope you're all right.
Oh, I'm fine.
You look a bit taken aback.
Make a history check, the 2 of you.
9.
16.
So far, this disadvantage has not affected you in ill light. I would say both of those are enough. You don't know this girl specifically, like you've never met, but you know her by reputation. She is the daughter of the Exardescan missionaries that live in the Exardescan temple on the outskirts of town. And you know that there's a little bit of like stigma around her and her family. Like they're always trying to bring people over to their religion, and it's all that they talk about. And you would also be aware that, like, I would say, Magnus, you'd be aware on your higher roll that a lot of the like local kids in Gloamshore like will get together and play even if they like don't like each other because there's not other kids around. But she's never really like come out and played with anyone.
Is this like the first time that I've seen her out anywhere since their family moved in?
Probably. Outside of like, you know, going to the store with her mom or dad.
I haven't seen you out away from the temple since your family moved here.
Oh, I don't get out much.
Well, hi.
Hi.
I'm Magnus.
I'm Saoirse.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is
Brody.
my brother.
Brody?
Close enough.
Brody?
Brody.
Brody?
Brody.
Brody?
Yeah.
Right.
Surprised to see you here, honestly.
Well, we were trying to sell cakes, I guess, to convert people to... Right.
Is that how that works? Are they going to be, what are y'all again?
Exardescan.
Exardescan.
Probably not, no.
Eat a cake and then you're Exardescan.
I think, more so... How much have we made from the time that we got here? Has anybody come by?
Yeah, people have bought the cakes. Usually they buy the cakes, and then as soon as you start talking about religion, they walk away. The cakes are delicious. They're very good.
They're good cakes.
I was just like figuring out my money situation.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, I want to spend it on a cake.
Is that you just like literally like
Do you have change for agate?
Hello there, kids. You making some friends, Saoirse? It's nice to meet you. My name's Cormac. I'm Saoirse's father. He like reaches out and shakes each of your hands.
Hello, sir.
His fingers are very cold to the touch. Kind of like moves around and has a seat. Yeah, we could make change for an agate for sure. It's just a single quartz for each slice. So that'll be 9 back to you.
You want to split a cake?
Yeah, let's split it.
Okay.
Wonderful. He makes the exchange. You can add 9 quartz chips to your inventory. So, what are you young lads up to this eve or morn? Hard to tell sometimes these days.
I'm gonna, from behind him, I'm gonna be like,
We just got here.
Right. Well, I mean, what are you looking forward to at the festival? Anything fun for kids around your age? I don't want to assume, but it looks like you're around Saoirse's age.
On the museum booth, for sure.
Oh, museum booth. That does sound fun.
Food on sticks. Any food on a stick.
Right. And he like,
I point
as you
enthusiastic.
see, he's got 2 like pork chops on sticks. He hands one to you, Saoirse. I have already made my first stop, and lovely folks, very kind. I've heard, I've heard tell that there's some sort of scavenger hunt in the Ashen Canes where they've got little bits of candies and sweets that are just kind of littered about, and kids go out in the woods and pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'd want to do something like that, Saoirse?
can I?
Looks around, he's like, maybe don't tell your mother about it, but
I'll tug on
don't
your
see what-
sleeve. Can she come with us?
If you'd like, I can try to look after her.
make a persuasion check. I'm going to make an insight check from an adult.
Oh, shit!
no.
That's a 12.
18.
Nice. He kind of like looks you guys over and he's like, you seem like good lads, put together. You trust these folks, Saoirse? Pass the vibe check.
Implicitly.
Right. Well, have fun, and just be back before second moon. Oh, and he just like he grabs like a scoop of like 5 quartz chips off the table, and he's like, for any treats you want to get along the way. Most things are very reasonably priced.
I've never held so much money in my hands.
We've really got to make more excursions outside the temple, don't we? Well, have fun, be a kid, don't talk to strangers unless they seem your age.
I thought,
Remember, stranger your age, is a potential friend.
Kind of our whole thing though is talking to strangers. That's part of it.
Right. He got like there's like every time he's being like a person, you see he kind of like glances over his shoulder at where like in the direction of the temple before like kneeling down and being like, I'm telling you this for your own good. Obviously we follow the Great Flame and its warmth brings us, brightness in times of darkness. But if you want to make friends in town, maybe you don't even have to talk about Exardeska. Maybe just talk about things that you're interested in and that you like to do.
I need you to know something. It's
Sure.
important and you can't tell Mom.
All right.
I don't remember my commandments.
Oh, that's all right. They're more like moral guidelines.
They don't sound like them.
You don't have
she
to.
talks about them, they don't sound like them.
Your mother is very passionate and she's very devoted. And that's one of the things I love about her is that she's really devoted herself wholly to spreading the goodwill and light of Exardeska. And that's why she spends so much time in the sanctuary giving speeches. And, one day perhaps all the good peoples of Nox will come to the side of the light and the sun and see that it does bring joy and growth and life and love. But a lot of people around here are kind of touchy about it, so maybe I've got the perfect thing for you.
Sure. Is
I
it
passed by
more meat on sticks?
No,
Great.
but it's nearby. When I was getting the meat on sticks, I passed by, there's a little stage set up, and there's a bard feller up there. He's got real lovely purple clothes, poofy pants, and all the like, big feather in his cap, you can't miss him. He's telling stories up on the stage of the fables. Now, it is the religion of this land, but I will say, because of the nature of the fables, it's more like telling you moralistic stories. So why don't you, on your way, before you go off and have fun with your friends or trumpsing through the woods, maybe listen to one or two stories, and I want you, when you come back before second moon, to let me know what your favorite story is and what they're trying to teach you with it. Sound good?
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Is that allowed? I'm allowed to do that.
Not in front of your mother.
Great.
Have fun. Great to see it. You see, like, even as kids, you see, like, the look of a man who is so thrilled that his daughter might have friends.
I'd like to. I'm totally getting the vibe of like, Dad, I don't want to go to church. You have to. Why? Because your mother said so.
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to bake pies and have fun.
Slate probably wouldn't be religious if he wasn't here.
The sun's great,
I
obviously.
grab like both of you by the coat sleeves and run.
Yeah. A group of children sprint through the street.
It's like little cautious steps at first, and then it turns into like a big.
Oh yeah. It's like you shook up a soda bottle and then just chucked it.
A full-on skedaddle.
So what do you guys like?
I like to read.
I do that. Sometimes the teachings. What do you like?
Games. Not reading. Kind of just waiting for the day that I can get out of here.
Right. Ouch.
The Dwarven. And then this guy will have to look after himself.
Well, I want to go to school, so I need to get out of here too. I can only learn so much at the museum.
Biggest fish in the smallest pond, though. You're already smarter than half the people on the island.
Well, I need more information available to learn more. And that's not going to be here.
Do you heed your father's call and go to the stage where the stories are being told, or do you rush off elsewhere?
I'll stop by the stories.
Okay.
Mostly because it feels rebellious.
Yeah, for sure. Listening to the pagan
Other
preachings.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
I'm rebelling by doing exactly what my father said to do.
Would hate it.
As you approach the stage, there's a number of people gathered around, and yeah, on the stage there is a man who's got a big lute in his hands, and he's kind of like strumming different tunes. Big poofy pants, got like one of those neck collars and a hat, like a very like Robin Hood-esque hat, kind of pulled slightly to the side with the cap, and a big red feather that stretches out from it, probably from a pheasant of some kind. And as he strums, he tells a tale. Gather round for the story of Weingrimmer. There's like a ooh to the crowd.
Is this guy from here, or is he?
Yeah, this guy's definitely from here.
Do I know the story already?
I would say
Didn't know
that
if
you
he was,
guys,
like traveling board.
I'd say you guys would definitely be aware. He does. I would say you'd be aware that he travels around Ilvermere,
Yeah.
but he is from the island.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are vaguely familiar with this story. You know that it's I'm about to tell it, but for like a basic overview that we would understand in our world, it's kind of their version of Ragnarok.
Okay.
In the times not yet written, before the world bends and breaks, the name Kasovir echoes, a whispered warning carried by the winds. The trickster god whose laughter rang with malice wove a web of deceit that would unravel the fate of Nox. No bonds held him, no honor chained him to the other gods. He was a harbinger of chaos, a shadow looming over futures not yet lived. The world would tremble beneath his twisted games, and the seeds of Weingrimmer would be sown by his hand. Arxvir. This is absolute dog shit. That's a lie.
I think I like kind of pull on Granny Bjarna's sleeve and like looked at her for like, can I?
She's like, wait. Let him get a little further.
Okay.
Then we correct him with reasons. It is said that Kisovia, in his eternal hunger for discord, set his sights on Valthara, the goddess of magic. Her thirst for power was known across the realms, and Kisovia saw in her ambition an opportunity to unleash destruction. With whispers cloaked in darkness, he led her to a ritual that promised supremacy, but delivered only madness. Her mind fractured as she ascended beyond the gods, becoming a force without reason, tearing at the fabric of existence. This was not a tale of the past, but a vision of what may come, a portent of the world's unraveling. And your granny kind of like pats you on the shoulder, and she's like, now's a good time to interrupt you.
That's not quite true.
Hush now. I will take questions at the end. Maybe. But Kasovia, cunning, stretched far beyond Valthara's descent. In visions they speak of Thairunamor, the Thorn Father, whose hands once shaped the forests and breathed life into the Elderkin and Zornir. Kasovia, seeing purity where it thrived, poisoned it with corruption. His whispers reached the hearts of Thairunamor's creations, twisting them with greed and cruelty. When the Thorn Father saw what had become of his children, his grief turned to rage. In the future yet to dawn, Thairunamor's wrath will burn the very land he once nurtured, playing into the trickster's cruel, cruel hands. At this point, your granny speaks up, and she's like, that is not true either. Please, the story will be told. You're telling it wrong. He like catches a glimpse of her for the first time. He's like, oh.
I'm desperately waiting to hear their correction
Yeah.
at this point.
I am also curious. I keep like raising my hand, and then when he's like, no, I'm like, oh.
Bling. The bards sing of a final betrayal, where Kasovia, ever weaving his schemes, lured Thairunamor into a trap. The Thornfather's fury would imprison him in the molten core of Nox, his rage simmering, waiting to explode. The prison of fire is no tale of the past, but a warning of the Earth's future trembling, a vision of Nox's eventual destruction, fueled by the anger of a god, tricked by the very one he called kin. And Granny is like, oh, so they are kins now? You said he had no kin among the gods, and now they are kin? It's like, please, the tale will be told. And in the last days yet to be told, Kasovia will call forth Ereshal, the devourer of gods, to clash with Valthara, now lost to madness. The heavens will shudder as these forces meet, and the world will watch in terror as reality crumbles. But the trickster's greatest betrayal lies not in the battle, but in the heart of Rithmira, the mother of order. He will twist her righteous intentions, turning her divine javelin into a tool of doom. When that strike falls, Nox will be sealed in its fate, and the eternal conflict will lead to Fineglimmer's arrival. This is the warning left by the bards. Kosovia, the cursed god, is destined to bring about the end of all things. His laughter will echo in the final moments, for when Fineglimmer comes, it will be his hand that guides it. Let this tale be a reminder of the fate not yet sealed, for the trickster's shadow looms, and Nox's future hangs by a thread. And there's a lot of like, oh, and some people like clapping. You hear under your breath, your gun is like, absolute horseshit.
So this guy, he's saying we're all gonna die in
I mean, it's
in Godfire,
like
or?
eventually, like probably not while we're around.
And we have like no control over the situation.
I mean, you don't take things like this
I
seriously.
could try sinning less
If
that would help.
do you sin a lot?
I don't know.
I think
scared.
so. Yeah, you're overhearing this conversation nearby.
He has it all wrong.
Oh, what was wrong?
He has painted Kosovir as black as the Umbral Sea. He would have us believe that the reflection of the Sparkwinds on the ocean are the actual Sparkwinds. It is malarkey. Ugh.
Tell me, children, would you like to hear the real tale? And you see is this like strangely animalized, like you're not sure if it's like makeup that she's put on, but this like very hag-like old granny with very long limbs. Like, would you like to hear the real tale of Kosovir, the trickster, and Finegrimmer's arrival? It is much more sorrowful than this bard would have you believe.
I take out a piece of charcoal and a piece of paper from my pocket. Yes.
I was told to figure out stories and.
Ah, you should hear the true stories then.
All right.
Please, have a seat.
I flatten out the piece of paper that I had.
Yeah, there's like little stumps nearby that you guys can like roll over and have a seat as Granny begins telling her version of the
Can
tale.
you sharpen this for me? You have like a knife or something?
No.
Oh. Does anybody have a
I
knife?
can do this.
Oh, thank you.
It's like, very well. You should really think of switching to ink and quill. It is much more reasonable.
Yeah. Eventually.
Normally this is better if there's a fire and I have my salts, but it's fine. It's fine. In the age of meat.
I know how to make a fire.
Really?
It's kind of part of.
I do too.
The most kid thing you said. I know how to make a fire.
This is okay. I do
It's
not want
one
to.
of the principal tenants.
Listen, you start the fire in the festival once, they get mad. If I do it 3 times, they will not hear the end of it.
3?
What?
In the age of me. When the world was young and the gods still walked among mortals, there were 4 deities whose power shaped the destiny of Nox. Kosovir, the trickster, Thyrunamor, the Thornfather, Baltara the Wizened One, and Rithmira, Mother of Order. This, the bard was correct on. What he was incorrect on was that they were inseparable. Together, they roamed the land, protecting the weak and bringing balance to the world. Yet, as with all things, power corrupts, and even the gods were not immune to its temptations. Rithmira, the once righteous judge of the heavens, became consumed with her own moral superiority, dispensing harsh judgment upon mortals who did not walk her narrow path of law. Balthara, the ever-curious seeker of knowledge, grew obsessed with unraveling the mysteries of creation and sought power beyond life itself. Kosovir, ever the trickster, foresaw the coming doom, but could not stop it. Blinded by his love for Valthara and his old friendships, and Thyrunamor, in his pursuit of creating perfect beings, brought forth the Elderkin from the trees and the Zoanvir from the animals, only to be betrayed by his own creations. His sorrow turned into fury. And only I would throw, and the fire would go. It is said that Kosovir, knowing that his friends had become too dangerous, sought to imprison them rather than destroy them. With the aid of Rithmira, he locked Thyrunamor deep within the core of Nox, where his rage could burn but never escape. But when it came to Valthara, the plan went awry. Ksovir summoned Ereshal, a being that fed on the essence of magic and mysteries, hoping to trap Valthara in the Azeroth Sea. But Valthara had ascended, no longer the goddess of mystery, but something far more terrifying, something that no trick could contain. In the chaos that followed, Rithmira, who had loved Ksovir in secret, intervened to save him from Valthara's wrath. Her actions, however, only doomed them all. You see, a great battle ensued between Valthara and Ereshal, a battle that continues to this day, unseen. It is said that one day, when either Valthara or Ereshal finally falls, the world of Nox will end, and all life will fade away. But some will remain. It will rebuild and continue on in the future with no need of the gods or their powers, for they will have the power within themselves. This day is known in the old stories as Feingrimir, the end of all things and the new beginning. Yet the legends tell a different story of Ksovir, and it's said that he who set this doom in motion, this trickery and deceit causing the downfall of the gods, his love for Valthara became his undoing. His schemes brought forth the end of Nox. This is Hogwallow. That is the dirt and mud that the hogs wallow in. Hogwallow. For you see, Ksovir loved his friends, and all that he did was to try and help them, to save them, and the people of Nox that he loved so much. He should be lauded as a hero for all he tried to do to dissuade this prophecy of the end times. He was unable to do, and now the battle between Ereshal and Valthara rages on. And one day it will end. But nobody knows when. So it's best not to worry about it.
And what's your name?
You may call me Granny Brynja.
It's like making appropriate like attributions of quotes and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh my God.
And this is my granddaughter, Arixovir.
Hello.
You see, if Ksovir was such a malicious trickster, not one who is just good-natured and loving, who doesn't love a trick of magic now and then? Why would I have named my granddaughter? You know, I had to really push for her parents to go this direction, but eventually they come around, just like everyone does to Granny Brynja. He rubs your hair and like dirt falls out.
I'm so proud.
She's an older kid like you.
12?
A weird like turn. It's like
she's
look
like-
at you.
She's like real tall now, right?
Yeah, you're like almost, probably at height with,
She might be older
Brothy.
than 12.
There's like I'm wearing like a leather vest that's like normal size, but my top underneath it is like little belly button showing.
Chili.
I like
Does this-
look at you with like really wide eyes, and I'm just like, how do you wear clothes like this? And I start grabbing on your like crunchy shirt. Dirty hands.
Starched.
Just like pulling on it and like looking at you and like looking at your hair and stuff, just being really up in your shit. You are like made of flame with hair like this.
Me.
Yes.
My mother says I'm actually kind of drab.
Drab.
What type of child's mother would say such a thing to their own child? She like Granny like puts her long like, and you see as she extends her arms, which are long, her fingers are also very long. She like puts them on your shoulders. She's like, you are beautiful girl. Never let anyone tell you otherwise, okay?
Thank you.
Yes. I hunger. Arixavir, would you like to join your little friends and do whatever?
Okay.
I
going
have
to
some
get the
money
snack.
for snacks. Have fun.
Do I also have money for snacks?
Yeah, Granny will. She'll give you like 3 chips.
We're gonna get
You see,
sticks.
you see, as she like stalks
Right.
off towards the bard to go and give him a piece of her mind.
After being jostled,
Yeah,
are my clothes dirty?
yeah, they're dirtier for sure.
I will.
You see, like as Arixavir is like tugging on stuff and just like leaving like little faint like dirty smear marks. Where Granny Brynja grabbed you as well, there's also some dirt marks.
I'm gonna, in my head, calculate some risks and rewards and I'm going to take off the outer layer of
Oh.
my multiple layers.
Yeah, you brace yourself for the cold that it will bring, but you still feel very comfortable.
Oh. Interesting.
Are they all white like this?
Oh, goodness.
Smear, smudge.
Have you washed ever?
Washed what?
Any?
For what? Like food sometimes, but not usually.
I kind of do a little.
Are you getting the BO smell finally?
No, it's
Did
just
you hit puberty?
like, oh yeah. It's like I can't remember the last time I washed shit.
There's a little of a horn in the
that was a
distance.
fart.
There's a little of somebody, of Granny Granny as she shits her pants walking.
So she's
Granny
real
is
old
very
now.
funny.
She turns around and goes, shh. No, you hear a
You
distant.
see where I get it from.
You hear a distant horn bellow in town, signaling
Hello?
the start of the parade.
Oh.
Which people begin to, like, the crowd begins to gather along this area that's been roped off on the main road that's not far from where you're standing. You guys definitely have time if you each want to mark off one more quartz chip to grab some meat on a stick. You don't need to, you've already got one.
I do.
Saoirse.
I'm definitely grabbing one.
Excellent.
Food
I would like a fried bread.
parade.
My favorite.
I want to try what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can mark off a chip as well.
They
And
come in several kinds. Do you like the kind with the cheese that melts, or do you like the kind with the sweet custards?
There's sweet custards.
We can also have one of both and eat half. And if you put them together,
Let's
it's
do that.
the best.
I want to eat both.
We do that.
excellent. Yeah, you guys.
Nibble.
You guys split these. There's a savory and a sweet bun of fried stuffed bread, and it is delicious.
How do they even make this? This isn't. I've never seen a food like this. Mostly we have boiled vegetables.
I am sorry. I pat you in more mud.
I would say the
It's like less of a pat and more of a wipe.
The deeper that we get into this like event,
Yeah.
there's just layers being slowly shed until I'm just in like kind of the last outer clothing layers
Yeah, for sure.
that wouldn't be underwear.
For sure. Excellent.
You look much
just-
more comfortable.
I am
something
much more
that's,
comfortable. This is fun.
Not fish for once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys grab the pork on a stick.
Oh yeah.
You have to try
Yeah.
sweet bread and cheese bread, but not mine.
I
Like
I'll
as these
consider
young growing children are just, just like
consuming
this
calories
down.
at an alarming rate.
There are parade floats that go by as you guys eventually make your way up to the edge along the crowd. As you see these carts that are being pulled by various beasts of burden. Beasts of burden in this world, are they horses or are they something else?
Ooh. Saber-tooth.
Saber horse.
I don't think McCall has picked a freak yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick a freak.
Oh, I have to pick a freak. Okay.
Make a freak.
Oh.
It's got to be something with a lot of like fur, right?
I mean, I had a thought of what if they're just like really big dogs.
I was thinking about woolly turtles.
I do love that image.
Like big giant tortoises.
Yeah,
but
and
they're-
But you ride them,
And everything is woolly except for the shell.
yeah.
Not like a
but
terrestrial
they're not slow.
seahorse.
A terrestrial.
Even
so
a tortoise
horse.
isn't as slow to size as you like make fun
Pretend.
of. Yeah.
Have
What
you
about
ever seen
terrestrial
Red?
seahorse?
I like to believe.
No, my thing's different.
Wait, what was yours?
He said, what about a terrestrial seahorse? So I said, you mean a horse? Like a naked horse.
I really like the response. No, my thing's different.
We've all really gotten into the mindset of the children that we're. No, mine's different.
Find something else.
I cast shield and it doesn't hit me, actually.
Yeah.
Where did we land? What are the beasts? I think McCall has final say on this one.
Pretty fucking cute. I like it.
Hell yeah, woolly turtles, and they got big eyes.
Nice.
Big, like, glossy eyes that peek out from their little bearded faces.
And yet empty.
Yeah, for sure. And they're dark. There's no sclera. So yeah, you see these woolly turtles that are pulling these large carts that have been decorated with various visages of different gods. And there's also, like, local businesses. There's like a bakery that has a cart that all ride by, and there's music playing and bells jingling, and people are handing out, some things you don't even have to pay for. There's people that bring by these little, like, noise makers that's like, you spin it and it like makes a ratchet sound while also bells jingle while it's moving. And ill-advisedly, they give a bunch of children these, and you're just like screaming and hollering and whipping them around and watching as all these colorful floats go by that have just like had several types of flowers. There are vast plains between Gloam Shore and Tarstrand that are just plains of all different colors of flowers that people have picked and brought and kind of pasted together in this sort of like paper mache with flower petals to make these massive colorful floats designs. You see one that depicts Thrunamor, the Thorn Father, as this sort of like tree-like stocky fellow who's got these spikes coming out from random jutting angles. You see another one that depicts Ksovir as a very handsome man with a knowing kind of like smirk on his face, with long black hair that goes down past the shoulders and like rests at the waist. Very bushy isn't the right word, but full. And yeah, various different gods from the fables are depicted. There's also a fishing float that depicts Mirgotha, which is like this large gator, and the people are actually riding in the mouth of it. And they have these little like poles that they lift up, and the jaw raises and closes.
I cheer for that one. Really.
And there's like a mirror ball type sun that's like hanging in it as well as the jaw goes up and down.
She's like a serpent, right?
She's usually depicted as like a saltwater crocodile.
Oh, okay.
But
like,
also,
so
didn't you say
technically a
serpent at one?
Yeah. I mean, she is a serpent, and technically a crocodile would be
really?
kind of considered. I think a serpent technically wouldn't have arms or legs, but Mirgotha is said to be so long that her body could wrap all the way around the earth, and if she so chose, she could bite her own tail.
Do they have a long tail going that like people are like running back and forth with to make it wiggle?
There's like 7 fishermen and their kids that are just like making the tail go wild, like running back and forth as it moves. And Mirgotha actually signals the end of the parade, as canonically all of you except probably Saoirse would know this, and I'm sure that Arixovir is filling her in, that Mirgotha is said to leap up each day at the end of the day and eat the sun out of the sky before returning it the next morning. And as it symbolizes the end of the day, it also ends up symbolizing...
How did they return that sun?
They opened their jaws.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the first day she wraps her jaws around it, and on the last day just her butt comes up.
Yeah.
Flips up.
Haven't you ever eaten?
She does that gator roll and just
like
sun bubbles out.
You eat something that's too hot and you spit it out.
She just likes to chew on it.
What would happen if she just didn't return it one day? Is that...
Then we would be plunged into darkness, and we would only see the light of the Sparkwind and the looms.
I would need more blankets.
That would be cold.
Yes.
You say this like that would be cold, looking around at your friends who are wearing like thick jackets and coats and things, and you're just like basically here in like a short sleeve shirt and some pants, chilling.
What next?
Saoirse, roll another d20. I'm gonna have Arixovir roll one as well. 8. You all notice that it's kind of hard to tell because you've been together, and it's hard to notice subtle changes over time when you're kind of like acclimating as it happens. But you'd swear that Saoirse's hair has gone sort of lighter and a little bit like poofier.
Wow.
It's kind of like becoming this sort of like orangish.
Less corporeal.
Yeah, there's like something strange and ethereal about her. What did you get out of Xovia?
A 1.
A 1. Also hard to tell, but over the course of the day, visibly, like physically, no changes have occurred, but you probably have grown another inch.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you like started like at eye level with his chin, and now you're eye level with his eyes. Excellent. As Mirgotha signals the end of the parade, the crowd collapses in and kind of takes you with it as you follow behind the parade and the people who are running in Mirgotha's tail in front of you as you are led up the street, the main street, and out the gates, where you can see there are various torches that have been set up all throughout the Ashen Canes. As now we are getting into a little bit past midday, the sun has risen, but the torches are there in case things go long, and because the sun will not be around for much longer. With the long night approaching soon, it's basically like, normally you'd have a 6-hour period of sunlight. This deep in winter, it's probably going to be closer to 3 to 4 hours. And on the last day of the festival, the sun may only like dance above the horizon for an hour before going back down.
Whoa.
But for now, it is time for the scavenger hunt. So, hidden all throughout the forest are various little trinkets, baubles, and goodies. Mostly it's candy inside of puffin eggs that have been emptied out through little like pinholes and have like a little opening cut in the bottom that all the candy is stuffed in through, and then they put the like paper mache flower petals over those as well to have these little colored eggs that are hidden throughout. Some of them are brighter than others. Those ones, there's kind of like an understanding like those ones are for the really little kids, because they're just kind of like on the ground outside the forest. Mm-hmm. But within the forest, there are some that are hidden, that are like camouflaged in the space. So, do you guys want to participate in?
Oh, hell yeah. Also,
Absolutely.
Excellent.
you want to make do you want to make a bet? One quartz? Whoever finds the most wins the pot.
Done.
Done.
Let's do it.
Yeah? Here, you hold on to them.
All right. Now what?
None of the kid things count, only ones in the forest.
All right.
But whoever gets the most wins the pot.
All right.
Deal?
Sure.
Okay.
We should stick together, though. At least somewhat.
I chase after her.
Excellent. I'm going to have each of you make an investigation check. Ooh. Or survival, your choice. Actually, no. I'd say investigation or perception.
Investigation.
Still so tired. Oh, shit.
Damn.
Woohoo!
Great.
It's a good first day in society.
The day is long and my sleep was short.
Saoirse.
It's only a couple hours long.
20.
Nice. Magnus.
12. My
Brothy.
lowest.
Plus 4.
8.
Yeah.
8. Arixovir.
That's an 18.
Nice.
You may call me Arix for short.
Ar.
Is it good to know?
Oh.
Ar.
Roti.
Brody.
Or
And then you
things.
sprint in different directions. First off, something that you learn about yourself, Arixovir, is that, and this is for Arixovir and for McCall, I'm going to adjust your speech of beast and leaf a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the choice, actually. Would you prefer to leave it as is, which is beasts, plants, and vegetation can understand the meaning of your words, though you have no special ability to understand them in return? Or would you prefer to instead have it specifically be with beasts, not including plants and vegetation, but basically have permanent speak with animals? That's like always going.
Yeah, I'll just do the beasts.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be able to understand them.
Yeah.
Because I got to hear the chickens, and that was way too much fun.
Yeah. And similarly, as you are prowling through the forest on your own turf now, just like scooping up egg after egg, you get to a point where you're kind of like not seeing many more, and a voice calls out, "You there!" And you look up and there's an owl perched on a branch.
Hello.
Hello.
And I like turn my head.
Turns it like the other way but upside down. And it like kind of like goes backwards and comes back. Are you looking for those strange eggs?
Yes, I am. Have you seen more?
Do you have food?
Do I? I think I'm just like looking in.
You probably got like breadcrumbs because you strike me as the type of kid who like got the fried bread and ate some of it and like put it in your pocket for later.
Forgot about it.
I think, like, she starts pulling stuff out, and there's like definitely crumbs in every pocket, but then there's also like a couple of mushrooms.
You probably have a pocket that's full of chicken feed. Like, like why have to go to the bucket every time when I can just have it in my pockets for the chickens? It's my favorite chore. So yeah, you probably do have
Totally makes sense.
plenty of food that an owl would be interested in if you're willing to part with it.
And I like hold up handfuls of like stuff that's just falling through hands.
Yeah, flies down silently and perches gingerly on your arm, even though you see its claws are intense. But it doesn't use too much pressure.
You
as it
have
lands.
such beautiful talents.
Thank you. And it just like scarfs up some of the food that you have presented, and it's like, follow me. And it takes off, and it's going to lead you to some eggs that you didn't see before.
I'm gonna just be asking questions the whole way. Do you talk to kids often? How does it feel to fly? Do you have dreams too?
You ask so many questions.
Are you Solvier in the owl form? And I'm just like picking up eggs as I go, with like always looking at the owl.
Who is that? No. And yeah, it like answers your questions to the best of its ability, but they're just rapid fire. Egg there. Now I'm going to pop over to Brody. You're rushing through the forest, grabbing egg after egg. As you can see, you kind of went with this strategy of everybody's going to get the eggs that are right near the front. But you know that they hide eggs all throughout the forest.
I'm going deep in that forest.
You rush deep in before you grab anything. You start grabbing them. You know that it gets a little more challenging as you get deeper in too, but you've still got a pretty good haul when you once again hear that familiar voice. But it feels louder.
Yeah.
Please, promised one, help me.
Where are you? How can I help?
This way.
It's the first time it said something different.
Oh,
It's coming from your left.
I think I'm just gonna, I'd like probably just pick up an egg and kind of like drop it and go that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving through the forest, pushing through branches of this lower lying brush, and as you do, you push through into this small clearing, and before you, you see a woman. She's beautiful and fair, but seems frail. She sits there with her legs kind of to the side, propped up on one arm, almost looking as if she's like maybe injured. And she looks up at your approach. Go ahead and make an insight check.
16?
She has a look in her eyes like a prey animal that spotted a predator as you approach, that then kind of softens for a moment. Her eyes themselves are icy blue, but there doesn't seem to be any sclera, no whites of her eyes.
Oh.
Just glistening white pupils at the center of a field of icy blues. Her hair is tied up in a sheer ribbon, and her ears are long and pointed like a Zoanvir, but the rest of her appearance is partially human and partially ethereal with very sharp features.
Are you hurt?
Long have I called for one who is worthy. Finally, my cries are heeded.
And she slowly stands, a good 2 heads taller than you. And I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh boy.
14?
A wave of calm washes over you, and you realize that this woman poses no threat, but indeed might need your help.
What is your name, promised one?
Brody.
Bro. This is a good name, a strong name.
Can I get your name?
I am known by many names. I am a child of freedom and choice. I empower said freedom and choice upon those who are worthy. Like yourself, promised one. Tell me, what in this world do you most desire, beyond all else?
I want to be picked for the Twarden. I want to see the world.
To see the world. This is good. And what would you do to attain this wish? Would you run as far as the ends of the world?
Of course.
She reaches up and removes the sheer ribbon from her hair, releasing a cascade of fiery red hair. What color is the ribbon?
Ooh. Let's say Because she has icy blue eyes that say they're blue.
Okay.
The unbreakable cordon. Whosoever accepts it will be granted the ability to escape from dangers near and far.
With her other hand, she reaches behind her back and produces an odd-looking stick that's roughly the size and shape of a sword, but it sort of zigzags and branches into tendrils that look almost like veins and sinew, but stiff and frozen.
Or would you stand and fight? The blade, Sonder. It brings enlightenment to all it touches and tethers souls of the faithless to this world, that they might find their fate yet again.
She places the two items on the ground before you to either side of herself.
But perhaps you would seek a friend, one who could help you understand, one who could bring you closer to knowing the secrets of old and how they might be born again anew.
She kneels before you between the two items that she placed on the ground and spreads her arms to the side, almost as if to accept an embrace. And still calm, you don't even falter at the sight of a second pair of arms that clasp hands before her. Nor do you cringe at the second and third pairs of eyes that blink open and shut on her narrow face above and below, the normal ones.
The choice is yours to make, promised Brody. Know that the friend you gain in this place shall steer the course of your dreams, each in their own unique way. Choose one. Choose wisely.
Well, I think I have enough friends. I don't need to escape things. The stick? I'll take the stick.
Take it.
Reach out and grab.
Yeah, you reach out, and as you pick up the stick and are looking over it, there's a sharp pain in your hand as these thorns seem to press out from it and into your palm. And there's a moment where your vision sort of goes white and you fall down to your knees. You try to drop the sword, but you can't. It is fastened to your hand. And you try to pull away from it, and you hear a different voice.
Well, hello. Looking to go on an adventure, are we? I think I can help that.
You have your eyes closed tightly shut from the pain, and when you open them, you quickly look to the side. The woman is gone.
Yeah.
The ribbon is gone.
Yeah.
What does the sword that you hold in your hand look like? The only thing that I will say is that the blade of whatever weapon you now hold is blood red.
So before, it was kind of jagged, right? Is what you were saying when it was stick?
Have you ever seen those diagrams of the human body, but it's just the nervous system? It was like that, but the shape of a sword. It's there was a lot of negative space that seems now to have filled in.
Oh. Thin blade, kind of like a rapier, but almost if it's in between a rapier and like a long sword. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a slashing rapier kind of situation. Excellent. There's a moment where you look around and you see this weapon. It's no longer fastened to your hand. You can actually let it go. You don't even see wounds. Actually, you tell me, did it leave a mark or not?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would think so.
What does it look like?
5 or 6 different cuts within my palm.
Yeah.
Small thorns.
Yeah, they kind of actually it's almost as if there was 6 points that stuck in and twisted together, but didn't all the way close. So it's like a spiral closing in on itself a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that.
You notice the mark, and you hear a voice again.
So what do you say? Shall we go on an adventure?
Oh, hell yeah. What are... the sword?
I am. I am called Sonder.
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 The sad vibe when you see old people eating by themselves at a chicken restaurant?
No, Sonder is becoming aware that every single person that you pass has lived a full life like you have.
What
Oh,
is
wow.
that vibe when you're just
That's sadness. Somber.
Somber.
Sorrow.
Yeah. What did you say her name was again? Did you say?
She didn't give you a
Okay.
name, no.
Said child of freedom and choice.
Yeah.
But
She
that's
had
all she
many
said.
names.
Okay.
She was the devil.
Yeah.
Do you wish to hide me? Or keep me in full view for now?
I'd rather hide you for now.
Sure.
Kind of don't think I should be running around with a sword at this age.
Oh, yes, it's quite dangerous, isn't it? Do you trust me?
No?
You should.
Okay.
Thrust me to your breast. You can go palm first if it makes you more comfortable.
You touch it, and there's this like suction feeling as you like feel it pulled from your hand, and the sword enters your chest, and you can feel this sort of cold tinge as the cold air that had chilled the sword itself transfers as it returns to blood inside of you.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Just call on me, should you meet me again.
Nice.
So you have that little moment in the woods.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Magnus.
So I'm hunting for eggs, but I'm also like practicing those hand motions since no one's around to like watch me being weird.
Yeah, for sure. Make me an intelligence. Actually, weirdly enough, because this is sort of subconscious at this point, make an Arcana check.
Disadvantage. 1.
Excellent. Roll a d100.
Oh boy. 75.
Excellent.
Your butt falls off.
Oh no! Oh, how will I ever sit again?
You're moving your hand to these rhythms, and you don't even realize it. You're like grabbed a couple of eggs, but you're not really paying attention to the eggs. You're kind of lost in this puzzle that you're trying to solve, and without even realizing it, you're speaking under your breath. And as you're making the hand motions, you're also speaking your best approximation of the pronunciation of the words that go along with each of them, trying to line them up.
Like it's in ancient Noxian, right? But it's, I imagine it's like gibberish. Like they're not like words that I know, or like something, or maybe they are words that I know, but they don't make sense in the order that they're in or something.
Yes, it's like ancient Noxian runes that have variation to them. So you're trying to like your best to estimate what that variation would mean sonically, and like doing absent-mindedly the hand movements. And there's this moment where you feel this like flash in your chest that feels like hot white fire within you, and you like freeze for a moment, and you try to move, and it's very sluggish. And you look down at your hands, and your skin is the same texture as stone. And yeah, it's like you still feel normal on the inside. There was that weird flash of pain, but it went away. But it's like there's this it's like there's a shell of rocks outside of you, and it's causing you to move very slowly.
Rocks.
We did it. That's it. That's done.
Beautiful. Is it, and it's making it like slower to move, being all rocked up like this, or?
All right.
Yeah.
Just break
Yeah,
up.
absolutely bricked. Basically, your movement speed went from 30 to 10 just now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I need to get a nap. I am exhausted. I'm seeing things. Like, I knew, like, I felt heavy like a rock before, but now I am seeing myself as a rock. I think back to like what sort of conditions hallucinations relate to.
Yeah, make a quick Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Wait,
Let me just do a quick
It's
neuro
just-
test on myself.
it's just skill checks that are at disadvantage,
Yes,
right?
just ability checks.
I still have a -1 in my Constitution. I almost rolled a 0.
Yeah, that was almost bad.
12.
You realize that there's as you're thinking through like symptoms of hysteria or potential, I don't think there would probably be a word for schizophrenia in this world yet, but thinking about symptoms that would cause you to hallucinate, you realize that like part of your brain is racking for an explanation, and another part of your brain is still focusing on those words.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Well, I mean, I'm all out by myself in the wilderness, so I'm gonna keep. I'm just going to assume that this is a hallucination, and then I need to, like, get home to rest soon. But I figure everyone's gonna be looking for eggs for a while, so I might as well just like wander around for a little bit still, try to like wake myself up maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like run, but I'm still like gonna be doing like the hand motions like while I'm doing that.
Okay, make a quick luck check for me. Roll a d20. I'm going to say on an 11 or higher, something will happen.
A 4.
A 4. You wander through the woods, and the more that you wander, the more that you become convinced that this is not a hallucination. This is happening to you.
I start to like try to like experiment on myself. Like I grab a stick and try to like poke myself.
Yeah, you grab the stick and accidentally squeeze too hard and it snaps in your hand. And yeah, when you open it, it's not like it just like broke. You open it and it's like becomes splinters.
I check to see if I still have pockets or anything on my person.
Yeah, your clothing is unchanged.
Oh, okay.
It's just your skin.
I grab like a rock or something harder and like squeeze it.
You go to squeeze, doesn't crush.
Okay. I grab another piece of wood that looks like it should be solid. Like it would, I don't know, something thorny maybe that looks like it should hurt me, and I'll try to like squeeze it like I did the other thing.
Yeah, you do. Doesn't hurt at all.
Well, now I'm invincible.
I'll say, how much time do you spend in this focused state trying to figure out what's going on?
Probably at least 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay.
Before maybe I decide that I need to go home or
Okay.
something.
Yeah. And as you start like heading that direction, you realize that like even while all of this is going on, you've still been like really concentrating on those words and just replaying them over and over in your mind. Do you continue to do that?
No, I'm going to. If I realize that I'm stuck in like a loop like that, I'm gonna try to break my mind out of it because I realize that's just ruminating.
Yeah. And
I try to like stop myself from doing that when I catch myself doing it. So.
yeah, and as you do, you drop concentration on the stone skin spell, and your skin goes back to normal.
What? I pull out a piece of paper and start writing down immediately like everything that happened with my still sharpened piece of charcoal.
Yeah, for sure. Saoirse, you have a shitload of eggs.
Yeah.
You've probably like fashioned the outer layers of clothing that you were wearing into like a sling, and it is loaded.
It's almost like it's not even dark. I
Yeah.
don't know who would even have trouble with this.
Yeah, and you're just like piling them in. You also make me a luck check. I'm gonna say on a 5 or lower, something bad is gonna happen.
She's a child. You can't let this happen to children.
Well, the problem is that I'm his wife, and he can't.
Your child bride.
Are you joking?
Oh, I think something bad's gonna
Matthew,
happen.
what happened?
Well,
What did you do?
me.
Two.
Transfer all the
Two.
blame.
Saoirse, you've loaded up on eggs. You're pretty sure you've got more than anyone. And you hear a voice. That's her. You turn around and you see Thirkel and a much older person with him. Looks like it's hard to tell because again, you're 10. This looks like they're probably like a 16 or 17-year-old.
Oh, that's basically a grown-up.
Basically a grown-up, yeah. And for a 16, 17-year-old, this kid is like broad.
Ooh.
Steps forward with Thirkel at his shoulder. Rather, Thirkel's probably standing a little bit behind him. What are you doing out here all by yourself, church girl? Picking up eggs?
I
by the
look
looks of it?
around and gesture at eggs.
I hear you were giving my brother a hard time.
Your brother stole. So
He says
He bought the cake from you, and you pushed him down for it.
And you see kind of like cowers behind him a little bit.
Well, Alfie bought a cake, and somebody else technically pushed him down. I didn't do that.
Make a persuasion check.
13?
He takes 2 steps closer to you.
And why would I believe anything that a little sun worshipper says?
Because it's the truth.
As he takes 2 more steps forward, this is a big kid. He's a lot taller than you, so much so that like as he gets closer, he kind of like kneels down to your level. He doesn't get like in your face, but he is imposing.
Why don't you go back to your church and never come out again?
Sure. Why don't you go back to your cave and never come out again? And I'm gonna headbutt him and I'm gonna run.
Make an attack roll. I'm gonna say with advantage because he was not expecting a 10-year-old to fight back.
That is an 18 to hit.
Excellent. Go ahead and also make me a Constitution saving throw. His head was poisoned. No.
I think I'm gonna knock myself out. 9.
You slam into him, fully expecting to just kind of like knock him back a little bit so that you and like surprise him so you can run away. You hear him scream as you turn and begin running. Do you look back over your shoulder?
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
7.
You see him holding his eye and still screaming, and you swear you see blood trickling down from beneath it.
Oh.
As you like turn back and continue running, you're already not having trouble seeing in this low light, but as you turn back, there is like a flash of brightness as you turn. And I would say you don't notice in this moment that it is the fire that your hair has become, brushing in front of your eyes as you sprint into the woods.
Securing my eggs.
Yeah, for sure. His little brother Thirukel is confused and alarmed that you've burst into flame as he like rushes over to his brother and is like shaking him. Something else that I would say that you are not aware of that others might be is that his brother Rithvir is one of the top candidates for Tuaravin this year.
I'm ruined.
And as you rush off into the woods to meet back up with your friends, I think we're going to do one more stat roll, and we're going to have to call it there for today because it's almost 5 p.m.
Hungry.
This game is so fun that I don't want to stop.
It is, yeah.
It is.
This is
I could play this all
something
night.
charming.
consuming.
You know how like we've all played D&D for a while, so we don't do the like chaos goblin, like I'm gonna go with the impulse as much. Being a kid makes it okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's... Yeah.
I think we should go around this way.
I got a 5. So
5 and a 2. And now you have your guidance. You know sort of where you're going to allocate things a little more, right?
yeah, 100%. But now I'm all confused because I don't know what to flip.
It is an interesting conundrum that we've been posed with this way. It's like, it is gambling, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's stressful, but fun.
Yeah.
I'm figuring it out if someone else wants
Yeah,
to.
sure.
Roll.
Roll.
Oh, no. Oh, that's a 1. I get to re-roll that. Yes.
Hell yeah.
2 5s.
Double 5.
Whoa!
Nice. You could drop the lowest of something you've already rolled and have a real good stat.
Jesus, could I get really strong? Or...
Do you want to roll?
That could be fun.
Yeah, I hadn't even considered that we could drop one of the dice that we already had.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I had you noted what
Yeah.
you rolled.
I know, I forgot. And
Luckily, we've got 2 more after this, so there's still time.
show me potato salad.
All right.
Hey, it's,
Fine.
Is that potato salad?
Close enough.
it's pretty good.
With that? Okay. I'm trying to, like, play it
Doing it in the Constitution.
in game.
Constitution?
Oh,
Nice.
I'm fucked.
What'd
I
you
don't
roll?
want to play this game anymore. I'm ruined. It's not gonna go up from here. I
What'd you-
rolled 2 2s. I have a 2 everywhere. Everything has a 2.
Throw them all in your dump stat.
They're all dumb stats, Cameron.
Strength is pretty good.
Great.
Don't worry, we got more rolls to go.
Yeah.
All my sets are getting pretty good now.
I can't tell if I want.
I think I am gonna put this in con. Maybe the stone skin has like helped solidify my constitution.
Yeah, maybe that flash inside of you burned something away.
Some bit of disease, some lingering malady.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out how this works narratively, because I can replace strength, intelligence, or charisma. Metagaming wise, I would rather do strength or charisma.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I guess charisma makes a little bit more sense because Arx just started talking to animals and stuff.
Yeah.
And strength is not necessarily the strong suit. Unless just like, that's part of being a Firbolg. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Actually, that they have...
If we're going with the Volo's Guide reasons, I think they get +2 to wisdom, +1 to strength. And if we're going with the Mordenkainen's, then it's, you just choose.
Yeah. Okay. With the like powerful build,
Mm-hmm. You like
It's like-
carry as if you were a large creature.
yeah, maybe I just do that. It's strength.
Guess I'll go ahead and swap my strength index now,
Okay.
if that's cool.
Yeah, that'll be the
'Cause-
only switch you get.
Yeah, but I'm doing the math. The only chance that I'll get anything higher is if I roll 2 6s for dexterity, and then it'd be 1 point higher.
Okay.
I mean, it might happen.
Yeah, you could wait until the end just to see, just in case.
Yeah, like strength and wisdom should be my dump stats. You know, I'll wait.
Very well.
That's just insane to just be like a little tiny kid that suddenly got really tall, and then like as she's gabbing at this owl, is just like lifting logs all of a sudden
Yeah.
and just like grabbing stuff out from under it.
Yes.
Went from a -1 to a +3 in
Oh
strength.
wow!
Shit.
Maybe the eggs are.
My
So you guys both went into con,
Mm-hmm.
and then strength.
My con just went from 8 to 14.
And again, if you
what
like,
do
you can.
mean it went from 8 to 14?
So I swapped that 2 in my score with the 3 and added the 5, which took me from 8 to 14.
You're suddenly like, "Achoo! I
I
can
don't-
breathe again.
I don't have a good feeling we're gonna live through this. Anything.
We got your back, don't worry.
Yeah.
And you'll, as you roll the other things, you can replace the lowest ones. You know?
Yeah, if your stats are as, if they continue to just be garbage straight through, then I'll give you the option to just re-roll stats at the end.
Yeah, I'm currently sitting at a +2, +0, -2, +1, -0, or -1 +0.
What is your charisma at?
+0,
What numbers did you roll for it?
11. That's the one that I can still roll for.
Right. So what 2 numbers did you roll for it?
5 and 6.
5 and 6. So that'll probably be great. The next time you roll, it'll probably go way up.
I mean, maybe, but I haven't rolled above 2.
Yeah.
But you have 2 chances
Yeah.
to roll above 2.
Yes. As you guys know, I'm not very good at rolling for stats.
That is freakishly true. Yeah.
It's really bad. It's
Yeah.
bad every time. It's really bad every time. If you tell me to roll 2 dice, I'm gonna roll 2s.
What if you roll 'em right now? 2 6s?
I'm gonna kill myself. Make you all watch.
I think you just putting too much weight on it.
I think that it's random, and I have bad luck.
That's also true. Well, not the bad luck part.
I think that in games of percentages, I am not.
I think that it's random.
I think it's all
and I
random,
have
but
bad
I'm
luck.
lucky. Luck doesn't exist, but I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
Look at my.
All right. Yeah, we will return to see what happens because of these events next time. One more game as children. Woo!
I love this. Good. It's gonna be really hard to be adults after this.